All right, Nick, thanks very much. Nick Hyam reporting. 10 minutes' time, we're going to hear more on this from the former editor of Panorama, Steve Hewlett. And we're also going to speak to Rob McLaughlin, who is an award-winning documentary maker.
In other news, David Cameron will use a speech on law and order today to insist that more must be done to stop prisoners reoffending once they're released from jail. But as part of what he calls a tough but intelligent approach, the Prime Minister will also back long prison sentences for serious offences. We can get more to Ross Hawkins.
Police in Cardiff have charged a 31-year-old man with murder and 13 counts of attempted murder after a series of hit-and-run incidents on Friday.
BBC News has uncovered evidence that South Yorkshire police told officers what to write in their statements during the miners' strike of 1984. Consider whether a review is necessary.
Nearly 1 million visitors travelled from abroad and watched a football match in Britain last year.
The figures from Visit Britain show that football tourists spent more than £700 million last year. Nearly half of those questions said seeing a game was their main reason for coming to the UK.
Now, it's a game of chance which has created 3,000 millionaires since it began back in 1994, and most of the National Lottery winners spend their money in the UK.
According to you.
Right up to date. At 11 minutes past 8, we're going to meet a lottery winner a little bit later on, someone who won a couple of million. I'll ask her how she spent all that money. First,
though, there are more questions for the BBC to answer today about why the Newsnight programme dropped plans to investigate claims of child abuse by Jimmy Savile.
The corporation's management has always denied claims that pressure was put on Newsnight to drop its report because of simultaneous plans to screen tributes to the presenter.
But in a Panorama programme to be screened tonight, two of the journalists who are working on the story have challenged that view. We can talk now to the media commentator past 8. You can see that Panorama programme, Jimmy Savile, What the BBC Knew, 10:35 tonight on BBC One.
17 minutes past 8 here on BBC One. Coming up on the programme, Jenny Hill is in York.
A bit worried for Alex this morning. Or he's not moved from that spot because he's been trapped in a...
Indeed. You're going to have to wrap up. Alex, thank you.
One quick postscript to that discussion we had just now with Steve Hewlett about Newsnight and Panorama. The Director General of the BBC, George Entwistle, has spoken to reporters outside his home this morning. Here's what he had to say.
Well, that was the Director General of the BBC, George Entwistle, speaking this morning. And that takes you to 21 minutes past 8.
Now, it's being described as the biggest change to policing in a generation. Today, booklets are being sent out to 20 million households in England. And you can find a full list of the candidates standing in your area on the BBC News website.
You certainly can. 25 minutes past 8. Have you ever dreamed about what you would do if you won £1 million? Of course you have. Perhaps you'd buy a house or pay off the mortgage, get a very expensive holiday. Would you leave your job?
Just £1 million. Just £1 million. A new report suggests more than half
What
of winners...
you would if it was £1 million, or it would have to be more than £1 million?
I don't know. More than half of winners quit their jobs straight away. Nearly 50% of them, in other words, half, toast their luck with a cup of tea rather than champagne.
So we asked people what they'd do if their numbers came up.
Well, we've got a lottery millionaire with us. Coming up, the BBC News Channel has...
Breakfast, though. Time now to get the news, travel and weather where you are. See you in a moment.
Probably nicer than my grandmother used to make.
Oh, but your grandmother made a fantastic roast. Suet pudding? Sally, thank you very much indeed.
Since you got in the studio, so things have started falling apart a little bit. It's just your natural aura. Good morning. Mr. Antics, in her self-titled sitcom, have endeared her to audiences and won her awards. Her on-screen character is famed for her clumsiness and her ability to embarrass herself.
So it's fitting that the real-life Miranda has now written a manual about how to cope with life's little pitfalls, including why you shouldn't use bread rolls as shoulder pads. Miranda's here.
See what I mean? Let's see some of the typical moments from Miranda's programme.
Oh, dear.
Good morning. Nice to see you again.
Thank you.
So you've written a manual on how to deal with embarrassment. What you call it? A Mirannual.
Of course.
Yes, of course.
It's clever, isn't it?
Yes.
I like that. A Mirannual.
Well, I mean, it's a feature, isn't it? Your height.
Yes.
And you get bound up in the situation where you're very open about what people say about your height. So there's a Christmas special of Call
Yes. Yeah, we filmed that in July, which was hot.
And weird.
And Christmas hats and scarves, but and fake snow, which was very exciting. So yeah, there's
a new book, I should think too.
Yeah.
Volume 2.
Yeah, maybe.
Miranda, thank you very much.
Thank you.
And Miranda's book, Is It Just Me, is out now. And the toilet paper thing, it's not just you.
What happened to Alex? So professional, he's unembarrassable, wouldn't you say?
Ooh. Now, it's been described as the English equivalent of the painted ceilings of the Sistine Chapel and was created 600 years ago.
And our reporter Jenny Hill's in York, where experts are working on the task of restoring the priceless...
Done that with fish.
I did that with fish, yeah. Just as a little sort of twist on it, really.
So what do you stuff inside? Which fish do you stuff inside another fish?
You can start off with a little one and...
Roly-poly is one of the recipes.
Well, all those a big step and benefits not only the staff who work there, because...
New book, Slow Cooking, is out on Thursday.
Julian Clary is going to be here in a moment. We were talking about embarrassing moments earlier, I'm sure.
What happened?
He's got a few
to
relate or provide. Who knows?
First, here's a quick last look at what's happening where you are. See you in a moment.
We were talking to Miranda about embarrassment and how to deal with embarrassment, because her life is full of embarrassing moments, apparently. And I know you've caused a few.
Yes. Position vacant, inquire within. And as you've heard, it's going to be heading to Scotland this week before moving on to Wales.
That's it from us this morning. We're here tomorrow from 6 with...
Well, we're going to be speaking to Sam Mendes, director of the new Bond film Skyfall, as well as M herself, Dame Judi Dench.
See you tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Have a good day. Bye-bye.